What's good, people? Your boy Matt Mike coming at you guys with yet another Atlanta Falcons news update. Now, this is an urgent message, and you kind of see the screen. I want to address this issue immediately. Why? Because this is something that will not be tolerated by yours truly, Atlanta Falcons Nation, Unholy Alliance, at all. So all of the culprits or the people who have said anything similar to this in any way or fashion will be deleted and blocked from all channels. Okay? This type of behavior will not be tolerated whatsoever. So you feel some type of way, any type of way about this, deuces. Please unsubscribe. This is supposed to be a friendly rivalry. And we subject ourselves to attacking children, yeah, immediately gone. So Mark 504, anyone, whether it's from the Saints, from the Atlanta Falcons, or from any other team, this will not be tolerated whatsoever. Now, this is not a video just solely speaking on this, but this is incredibly important. All right. And I want to read what this dirtbag had to freaking say about this. You go out of your way to speak ill on a child. Let me repeat that. Speak ill on a child. You think it's freaking funny? You are the lowest form of life to speak ill on a child. What are we doing, people? We that's disgusting, so we go out of way to make sure that we talk about kids like this. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna get to the news. Just give me a minute. This is the type of stuff that just like what possessed you to think this is okay to talk to say this type of thing to about a child, bro? What are we doing? You that much of a piece of fucking crap to say this about a child? All right, I'm just gonna repeat what he said, okay? So if you feel this is a little bit insensitive, all right, let's picture what a mother had to just say about like hearing a person say this about their child. Look like that's a slow class. Look like that's the slow class with the one student, and y'all only go over three numbers. And I'm just saying, love, she's the only one in the class. Your skit backfired. Let that baby test out and join the other classes. Who that short bus, one class, one sound. So you won't be seeing this dude on this channel. This is the reason why I personally try to stay away from Saints fans, and not all of them, but most of them subject themselves to doing stuff like this. And this is the type of stuff we talk about. Let it be about sports. Keep it about sports. Keep it about the person that you're having a conversation about the sport. About the city and whether the city stank. Yeah, keep it about the city, keep it about the sport. When we talk about going at children, come on, people. Let's just stop. So let me get into a couple of things. The first one tonight, we have TJ Jones tonight on Atlanta Falcons Nation. So if you guys make sure you go over, hit that notify button. All right. So you will be notified that we will be live 8 o'clock. TJ Jones is going to come on, give his opinion of how he sees this matchup, his three keys, and you know the strengths and weaknesses as far as the Saints is concerned, seeing it from their point of view. Now he's one of the most people, one of the Saints fans that I personally respect, has great um, analysis, breaking down, and he's not one of the delusional people that just think they're going to win the Super Bowl every year. Like he's going to tell the truth about how he sees things about his franchise. Like I said, he's one of the people that are absolutely, that I respect as far as the Saints is concerned. I mean, it's still the Saints. You know what I'm saying? But the next one. All right. Let me get into this first. Um, The 53 is all completed. All the Falcons are present. Drake London with the knee. Darren Hall with limited. Parker Hesse is a guy that was indeed present as well. He's limited. You also have Dean Pease in stating that Michael Walker will receive the play calls this year and will have the dot. That's essentially the guy that's going to be calling the plays. But he's confident in multiple defenders being able to handle it if need be. All right. So basically, what this means, I've stated this before, that Dean Pease is a guy that has multiple mics. He doesn't solely have one person throughout the year who's going to be able to, that's going to call the plays. Last year it was um, Deion Jones as well as Foye Oluokun. So this is why we say time and time again, Dean Pease has multiple Mike linebackers. So Michael Walker, for the most part, he will start the year with the green dot on his head, but multiple defenders are going to have that opportunity to be that play caller for the Atlanta Falcons. But right now, he feels comfortable with Michael Walker, not Rashawn Evans, um, to be the signal caller for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know how I feel about that, but you got to be able to trust Dean Pease in this process. He then goes on to say he has coached from the box and the sideline, but in the box during the first year in Atlanta. He's coming down to the sideline after trying it in preseason. So he will be on the sideline. I think this personally is the best thing for the Atlanta Falcons and this young defense. They need a guy, when they make a mistake, when they make mistake, he gets to coach these guys one on one on the field rather than through a freaking headset. So he get to look these guys in the eye and say, "Hey, I believe in you. You can get this job done." And players need that one on one with defensive coordinators, kind of see what they're thinking, and like I said, get that one on one on the sideline rather than hearing him through a head. So again, Dean Pease is going to will be on the sidelines this season, as well as the special teams coordinator, Maurice Williams. He was asked about Avery Williams in the depth chart being listed as the kick returner. Over Cordero Patterson, we have multiple kick returners on the roster. Didn't rule out Patterson getting kick return reps also. So, like I said, for the most part, I have no issue with this. Avery Williams at this point in time, yes, he's a very as a guy that you can move around, DB, running back, kick returner for the most part. But Cordero Patterson is going to be he's also been listed as the starting um, running back for the Atlanta Falcons. So I don't see a lot of reps this year unless it's a crucial moment during the game where they need a big return, or for whatever reason Avery Williams is not doing a good job. returning, whether he fumbles, makes a lot of mistakes. You can throw, Cordero Patterson there. Obviously, he's been doing it for most of his career. So I don't foresee us seeing Cordero Patterson much at the kick returner position, but Avery Williams is the guy, the punt returner, kick returner. It's going to do that for us. But you can possibly see a Demir Bird there. You can see a Jared Bernhardt at some point in time. But we have multiple guys that can fill in that position. So nothing to be too upset about as far as these concerned. Um, oh, wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. Come on, yo. There we go. All right. So DPs also stated there are times that you think you're really going to be that you're going to be good, and you're not as good as you think. I talked to multiple guys on Cincinnati staff last year, and they were worried about getting fired. You just never know. And this just goes into another issue, personally for me. Well, we always state that. And what's good? How y'all doing today, man? Vlad, Melvin, Devon, Weezy B, ATL Leo, Reggie 2K, the Falcons therapist, aka Mr. Juan, Champagne Baz, Raymond Elder, Tev, Saint, Javon Daniels, how you guys doing? Blizz, Yasuke Knight. Appreciate everybody for joining us. Michael Walker. Terry Ocean Boy. All right. But like I said before, this is one of those things like we tell you all the time. You come in ranked 31st and you come in ranked as the best team in the league. As a lot of people have done already. They pretty much label the Falcons. They have no chance in hell to get anything right. So, at the end of the day, man, you just never know. No, the Cincinnati, like I said, here, Dean Pease, he was talking to Cincinnati coaches last year, and most of those guys thought they had no chance in hell. At you know, they thought they were getting fired, and they end up in the Super Bowl. So things can change at the drop of a dime, man. Chemistry is vital um, when it comes down to the you know the success of a team. Once you get the offensive line going, you get the running game going, you got the passing game. The quarterback has that chemistry with the wide receiver, tight ends, or whatnot. The defense started to pick up esteem as far as their pass rush is concerned. They start to get, they're stopping the run. All these things played into hand when it comes down to the Cincinnati Bengals and helping them get to the Super Bowl, even when they had a pretty bad pass protection. Uh, those guys were pretty bad. I think they gave up the most sacks, the most hit all year, and they still end up going to the Super Bowl. So I know a lot of people always, they state that guys like Caleb McGarry, Jalen Mayfield, Matt Hennessy, and those guys suck. But if you have a running game and you have the right play caller and players with certain chemistry, man, like Burrow and your boy um, Burrow and Chase. Uh, but if you have those guys who have that chemistry, the passing game that had the chemistry, man, like I said before, this is, you just never know. So I know a lot of Falcons fans are wondering to themselves how good the Atlanta Falcons could be. That could be a very good team. It all depends on, how fast these guys get it, how fast the coaching staff gets acclimated to the type of pass plays they like, the running game. If the running game get going, they can lean on the running game. They use some play action and some rollouts to kind of get everything going. Like I said, everything can come together. We've seen it before, so there's not. It's never certain. Injuries happen. I think we all know that. Nobody sort of, you know, for the most part, a lot of injuries. Let's just be honest. A lot of injuries. Kind of last year. as far as the Baltimore Ravens team is concerned. Lamar, he was in and out of lineup with a lot of injuries and whatnot. So, like I said, the one injury, could completely change the dynamics of the team. So, Falcons and my vote. I know a lot of people have them winning 2 games. A lot of teams have them win no more than 5 games. But who the hell knows at this point? So it's all got to be left on the field, man. I don't like predictions. I think you guys know that at this point. I'm not a fan of predictions, score predictions, record predictions. But I think at the end of the day, man, I think a lot of people got it mixed up. The Falcons have a just good of a chance than everybody else. Because, like I said, you look at even the Rams team. I know people looking at, Aaron Donald. What if Aaron Donald gets hurt? How good is that team? What if Aaron Donald has a knee injury or ankle injury that just prevents him from being the defender that we all know he can be? What if that happens? What if they lose a guy like Jalen Ramsey? What if they lose a guy like Cooper Cup? Cooper Cup has had like 450 targets the last couple of years. You think he's going to keep up on that same pace? Let's just be real. Anything can happen at this moment. So, like I said, you never know what can happen during this season. Like I said, man, a lot of people just put too much stock on what's happened last year. Last year is last year. This is a new year, and this is a great point, right, Yaski? Like the Braves last year, look, they were, I think the Braves were like under 500 last year, going into, going into the midway part of the season. The Braves was like under 500. They got hot at the right moment, found their groove, and they made a couple of moves here and there that a lot of people did looked at and scoffed at. They brought in Soler, they had Eddie Rosario, they made a couple of moves for the pitch concern, and they ended up getting hot with a guy like Ronald Acuna who was out for the year with a torn ACL. And these guys still end up, winning the winning the World Series. So, like I said, bro, like anything and everything can happen with chemistry. I want everybody to keep writing us off because they're giving us the big look, and like I said before, that's another issue. If you guys already haven't put your comments in the uh leave your questions in the comments so I can kind of go over them. This is the Q&A portions of, so you guys have that to know. Cause had a question for me the other day that I didn't have a chance to get to, and I want to speak on that. Um, so that question was, how do I feel about Sunday? But another question before that he had about Kareem Hunt, and whether or not will he be a good fit for the Atlanta Falcons. And quite frankly, the Falcons just don't have money right now. They do not have money right now. I think the Falcons have 32nd in the league as far as the cap space is concerned. Let me get that exact number. We that exact number for the Atlanta Falcons and the cap number I think is one. Excuse me just for a second, people. I'm getting that. I got a lot of junk in here. Um, but the salary cap, yeah, the Falcons are 32nd in the league with salary cap. All right, they're 32nd in the league. This was put out by Ian Rappaport. The Falcons are right below the Chiefs. The Chiefs have $1.6 million, and the Falcons have $1.5 million in this salary cap. And I know a lot of people are wondering, um, can the Atlanta Falcons make a potential move? We already kind of did the homework on that, and this is one reason why I had wanted to do a show today. Is the Atlanta Falcons are currently, obviously they're dead last when it comes down to the salary cap. And the question is whether or not how can the Atlanta Falcons make a move um, to get a little bit more money? Well, we pretty much exhausted every opportunity, exhausted every um, avenue, and what we've come up, the crew and I, the Unholy Alliance, we've done the homework on it. Is a few people that could potentially, if the Falcons were desperate, these are the guys that you can, quite possibly see, possibly, all right, quite possibly. It's not 100%, but these are the names that we came up as far as those guys who can, um, you know, if the Falcons desperately needed money, they desperately need to make a move. Um, and these are not ironclad, all right. So I'm not saying this is going to happen. All right, make this clear. All right, this is not going to happen. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but these are the guys that the Falcons need a couple $1 million. These are the guys that could quite possibly be eligible, all right, to give us a little bit of cap relief in space. Lorenzo Carter, if the Falcons were to cut Lorenzo Carter, don't see it happening, but he could say it was 1.5 million. Zacchaeus, I doubt that happened, but he can say it was 2 million. Rashawn Evans is a guy. Damian Williams is a guy. There's about $1 million. Keith Smith, $1 million. Bradley Payne, 1 million. Hesse, 1 million. Brian Edwards, a million. And that's about 3 to 4 landmen. Kwiatkowski, Cody Gossett, and Abdullah Anderson. Those are the guys. If the Falcons needed money, those are the names that could quite possibly be released. All right, and it's just based on release. Those are the names that could quite possibly the Falcons use to get money for this season. All right, this season. I know a lot of people are wondering to themselves, all right, what about extensions? All right, I think the only I want to throw one more name in there, and I doubt this happens. Also, Marlon Davidson is a name that the Falcons could quite possibly throw out there, um, to get some money this season. But the deal with that, it'll cost at least $1 to $2 million next year in dead cap hit. So, like I said, I doubt that Marlon Davidson he has a tremendous upside. He has an upside. He stays healthy. You get him around the fifth, around the fourth and sixth week of the season. You can get him back as far as a name is concerned. That'll be able to contribute to the defense and the team. Um, you have, like I said, it's just not a lot of money. Ways the Falcons could keep a lot of money, create a lot of money with just the releases. So, in my opinion, Deion Jones will not be released, and most of these guys will not be released because they are already on a small contract. Most of these guys are on 1 year deals, so it would not do anything for us to release this guy to, get a lot of money. So that is out of hand. The second thing that we've done as far as how the Atlanta Falcons can create cap space this year, the Falcons would have to extend a few people. Um, those guys, for the most part, I could possibly see AJ Terrell. Um, you re-sign him this year to an extension. You can see Caleb McGarry, a guy that a lot of people are throwing themselves out there. He could quite possibly see a extension as well as Chris Lindstrom. But out of those three players, this is the prize, and it's all like I said. This is the not only the AFN crew. We kind of went over this, but the Unholy Alliance, Devontae, Richard, all those guys, um, the Dunn, the Feed Last Sports Podcast, all the crew of the Unholy Alliance. We kind of did our homework this morning, and we came up with a possible deal that may shock a lot of people. And I think this will shock a lot of people when I say this, that you could quite possibly see this happen if the Falcons need it. Okay? If the Falcons need to go there. If they don't, want to sign Chris Lindstrom, if they don't want to sign AJ Terrell this year and they want to work on a contract next year, this year, one guy could quite possibly see an extension for 1, 2, maybe 3 years. Who is that guy? Anybody want to take a guess? Who is that guy that the Atlanta Falcons can quite possibly see with an extension? Hmm. Jones. Nathan Floyd says Jones, Deion Jones. D'Angelo Pouncey says AJ. King Kale says Grady Adebo. Grady just got his. Yeah, Grady just got his. Norman says McGarry, Mark, Mark. I don't know how the hell you say it. Whatever your name, MGK. All right. He says Mariota. Corrigan says AJ Terrell. But the answer is this. This guy. Yeah. This goes out to Devontae. He came up, we could quite possibly see Marcus Mariota get extended. Yeah, we could quite possibly see him get extended, much like the San Francisco 49ers did in extending um, Jimmy Garoppolo to be the backup. So it gives them a little bit more flexibility this year. And in prior years, it ensures Mariota has an opportunity to at least stay with a team. And we have a valuable backup behind if the Falcons want to go ahead next year and name Desmond Ritter the starter. So not only do you have a young bull in Desmond Ritter, you got a quality backup in Marcus Mariota. So I think this is something that Falcons can, like I said, a lot of Falcons fans they look at Marcus Mariota. He's an injury prone guy, but at this point in time, he becomes a key part in his offense. And even if Desmond Ritter isn't the guy, let's just say he isn't the guy, Marcus Mariota could be extended. And until we find that young guy that we can develop, Marcus Mariota can be that insurance policy for Arthur Smith. So I think this is something they can keep an eye on as far as Marcus Mariota getting extended. Like I said, this goes out to the Unholy Alliance crew. Um, this is something that we do all the time, and kind of give you guys something to think about. Uh, an extension. Give you other things not to think about. But Ghost Pepper says if Mario just balls out for us, it would be foolish to not extend him. And I like I said, I think this is absolutely. I think this makes so much sense. I think the proper thing to do at this point, his obviously his teammates like him. I don't see an issue with it. You have a young guy that you want to become the franchise quarterback, and Desmond Ritter. And if Desmond Ritter doesn't play well, you always have that insurance policy. And it's not like Mario is going to make 20, $30 million being a backup. That's not happening. But it is ensures that not only does he have a job in the NFL, but if another team that is looking for a veteran guy to help bridge the gap to their young quarterback, they could use Or they could trade for a guy like Marcus Mariota, maybe a third round, fourth round pick, second round pick if they really need it. It gives the Falcons another opportunity to to pick up a couple of draft picks for him. So I think extending Marcus Mariota is something that we could possibly see in the near future. But like I said, do not be surprised if that happens. Big Ann in the building. What's good, man? Like I said, you guys have any more questions, man? Um, we will go live tonight, Atlanta Falcons Nation. We will have a conversation with TJ Jones, the State of the Saints podcast. Um, so you guys stay tuned for that. Um, if Mariota's play is good and well leads us to the season, I think we should keep him, keep Desmond because Rogers played back up. Yeah, he played for a while. I think Aaron Rodgers was like a backup for Brett Favre for like 3 years before he got his opportunity. So, like I said, man, it's you seen Tom Brady again. He didn't start early. Drew Brees didn't start. Um, it's a lot of guys that didn't get an opportunity, to play right away. So, like I said, just because a guy doesn't start in year one doesn't mean he sucks. Sometimes it takes other guys longer to pick up certain things and learn the game before they truly take off. So, like I said, man, I would not be surprised if Mariota is extended to kind of give the Falcons a little bit more, flexibility with their salary cap. I say I give Marcus Mariota an extension for a year or so. I think if the extension comes for Marcus Mariota, it'll be about a 2-year deal. Like I said, after this year, he will be a free agent. So, like I said, if he starts off well, I could see it's the first 3 games or so. You extend him for 2 seasons. Make sure he's here for a while. Um, like I said, you got a backup. You got a potential insurance policy if something happens or Desmond Ritter does not um, progress as a quarterback as fast as we need him to do. Like you just never know. What am I missing on helping with money now on extending him his base salaries? Extending money is about giving money this year. The Falcons need money this season. They only have $1.5 million on the season, and extending a guy like Marcus Mariota would give them money this year. It's not about the future, it's about this year. The Falcons need money this year. The Chiefs need money this year. So extending the guy will create money this year. The Falcons right now have a ton of guys that are on that 1 and 2 year deals, and cutting these guys will only save about 1 to 2 million. So if you need at least $5 million, guess what will happen? The Falcons will have to cut at least 3 to 5 guys to save to get $5 million. So the best course of action for the Atlanta Falcons is to extend either Marcus Mariota, AJ Terrell, or Chris Lindstrom. And you can throw Caleb McGarry in there, if need be. You can throw uh, Marlon Davis in there if need be. But Falcons need money this season. All right. So, like I said, I don't see them extending these guys this year outside of Mariota. Um, I don't see the Falcons releasing a guy like Alameda Zaccheaus. If the Falcons were to release him, they'll save about $2 million. I don't see that happening. So there's only so much the Falcons can do this year to create money this season outside of extending or releasing multiple guys. Just don't see it happening. Mm-hmm. Mahomes getting to sit behind Alex. Like he did it for a year. It proved to be a great move for him. He learned a lot of, small details of being a quarterback to watch for. So, like I said, it's not out of the question. What if he takes us to the playoffs? The Falcons team is going to punch everyone in the mouth. He playing like he's trying to prove something to the fans and media. Like I said, if Marcus Mariota were to take the Falcons to the playoffs, now that creates two things. One, the Falcons will have to make a decision whether or not Desmond Ritter is truly the guy that they are. And what I mean by that is he ready to be the quarterback. Are the Falcons better suited to have Marcus Mariota at quarterback or Desmond Ritter? They would have to make that decision. And then two, they would have an opportunity again. You got the opportunity to get at least a second round pick for a guy that take you to the playoffs and quarterbacks. And we all know quarterbacks right now in the NFL is at a premium. It's at a premium. Everybody needs a quarterback. So you could easily get a second and third round pick for a guy like Mariota. So now the Falcons have more draft capital. I think they're going to get at least a third or fourth for allowing Foye Oluokun to leave in free agency. So they'll get a compensation pick for that. Um, but like I said, this is another opportunity for the Atlanta Falcons. Well, I don't think it's about getting people in free agency, man. The Falcons just need. I think they have enough players on the roster that need snaps. So what you want to do at this point is bring in guys that's just going to help fill the roster. I think the Falcons know who the playmakers are. They know who um, the future players are for them at this point. I don't think it's you're going to go out and get a guy that's going to, be a difference maker. You just want guys that are going to be, play a role and just fill the roster at this point. It's not a lot of guys in free agency right now that are valuable outside of maybe Indomitian Sue, and I doubt that happens because he wants the bag. Yeah, and like I said, even that cap next year is one of the largest in the league. We've seen, with Jacksonville that money could be gone at any given time. So, especially when you go, spending money like crazy, like they've done, all that money pretty much gone this year. So, like I said, it's nothing that I personally say that is a definite that the Falcons are going to be spending a lot of money like that. And that's one of the main reasons why I've said personally, I just don't see the Falcons releasing or trading a Deion Jones because they want to keep as much money next year and in the future as they possibly can and not hit that dead cap. If they do that, Deion Jones, they don't save any money. They may save like $1 million if they release or trade Deion Jones at this point in time. Um, and like I said, it's no benefit for the Falcons to get him. It's more detrimental to the future if they were to trade or release Deion Jones. It's going to be another $24 million in dead cap, and we want that money next year. We want as much money we need that we can get next year. So we can bring in some free agent guys that actually fit the scheme and extend guys that'll play well. One of the things too, when you look at a lot of teams, they have a good year to go to a playoff and then they go on a run. Those backups are the guys, those defensive linemen who've had, 5 to 7 sacks. These guys end up going to other teams and signing deals for like 15, $20 million because they've had, success with a playoff team. So you lose a valuable guy in free agency. So at the end of the day, it's something that happened to the Falcons. Fourier had a good year. They didn't have enough money to, resign him, and he just walked and just ended up walking. Falcons got to be in the position where they can continuously develop players, but not spend too much money on guys that were, ultimately, they said backup energy type of guys. So I would not go out of my way. Like I said, I wouldn't go out of my way to spend too much money in free agency. The signing bonus just goes into signing bonus is typically a part. It's almost like a guarantee. You know what I'm saying? But you have to do certain things to get the signing bonus. The signing bonus can be manipulated as far as the base salary is concerned. Sometimes the base salary is high, so they can go and extend guys, move things, restructure things around. Sometimes the base salary is low, um, so they can fit guys in, and the salary cap. Well, not the salary cap. The bonuses, the signing bonuses is just like a way they can manipulate the base salary. Uh, the base salary kind of take away from the salary cap itself, if that makes sense. So let's just say the salary cap is at a 15, and Dion, you need at least 18 million. Well, Dion Jones' salary cap, his base salary is about 20. Well, the Falcons need about $5 million. So what they can do is drop that base salary down to like 2 to 3 million, and they gain about 6 million. So it's just way the guaranteed money is just a way for them to manipulate the base salary for the teams. That makes sense for you guys. Just like yeah. So a lot of guys, it's like a lot of guys get these guaranteed the guaranteed money, but the base salary is let's just say like this for Von Miller. A lot of contracts they end up getting like $50 million in guaranteed money, and then the first year the guaranteed money is like $20 million. The base salary is like $20 million, and then the next year it changes because they restructured the deal, and it's about $10 million. They still getting the same money, but it's the way the teams design the contract where they can manipulate the base salary that's going to keep them away from going over the salary cap. I know it's a lot. I know that's a lot to understand, but like that's basically how the teams can manipulate and restructure contracts to get more money on the salary cap. Like I said, I think for the most part, um, like I said, AJ Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry, he could be a guy for the extension. Like I said, you can throw Mariota in there for extension, but uh, given the circumstances, I think the Falcons would want to sit down, figure out what AJ the market has been set as far as the DB is concerned. So, my opinion personally, I think AJ will probably get the extension first between he and Chris Lindstrom. Caleb McGarry, you could quite possibly he comes out in the first 3 games and he just absolutely balls out. You could see him getting an extension, and you could possibly see, depending on how Marcus Mariota, you can see him getting extensions, so the Falcons could get money this year. So there's a lot of ways the Falcons can get extra money. I think those are the most likely guys to see extension, so the Falcons get money this year. But like I said, man, I think it's one thing, Reginald, to take into account. Dean Pease didn't give Rashawn Evans the communication. He didn't give him the dot. He didn't get the play calling. He gave that to Michael Walker. So I think there's something to be said about that. Not to say that Rashawn Evans is not going to ball out, but if he's not making the calls, man, that says a lot to me. You gave it to a younger guy, Michael Walker, rather than giving it to Rashawn Evans. So I think he really believes in what Mike Walker can be. Like I said, you just never know. But like you said before, that's not ironclad. Rashawn Evans could have a great year, and then he played to a certain standard, and he start balling out. You never know. He can take it away from Michael Walker and give it to Rashawn Evans. These guys have done that before. They'll take responsibility away from you. Yeah, like I said, I'm me personally. I'm just not a fan of Michael Walker at this point. I need to see more out of him. But who am I to say? Who am I to question? Well, Dean Pease, he believes in him, and at this point, he's ahead of most of the linebackers outside of Deion Jones, and he trusts that guy the most. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna trust him, Dean Pease, as far as who the guy he wants to call the defense. And right now, that guy is Michael Walker and not Rashawn Evans. Like I said, the salary cap, man. Don't think that money is gonna be here next year. Like, I want to make that clear. Most of that money is gonna be taken up extending guys like Lindstrom, possibly Caleb McGarry. Because if these guys have good years, guess what? You're gonna have to give them that money, and some of that money is gonna be gone. Because if they extend Lindstrom and AJ next year, most of that money is gonna be gone anyway. So do not get happy about like possible free agents from other teams being here, because most of that money is gonna be taken away because you got to extend the young guys that we have on our team at the moment. Let's just say Marlon Davidson comes off the injury list and then he balls out. He has a near 10 sack season. Do you want him to walk? This is a guy that you paid. AJ has another Pro Bowl season. You want to lock him up? Chris Lindstrom has a Pro Bowl season. We got to lock him up. So most of that money with those three guys is going to be gone. That's going to be at least $20 to $30 million gone off the overall number next year. So like I said, I think don't get too carried away as far as the money that we have next year. And like I said, I know we got a lot of money coming off the books, especially the dead cap. Um, I think Matt Ryan's money is going to be coming off. I think Julio comes off next year, if I'm not mistaken, next year. So they'll have money, but like I said, most of that money is going to be gone. At least a third of that money is going to be gone. At the least of that 100 million that we had, a third of that is going to be gone. So we may have 70, 60, $70 million of that money gone, and possibly more than that with the extensions of AJ, Chris Lindstrom, and possibly a guy like Caleb McGarry. So it's going to be a lot of guys, and we got other guys too, some young guys. Brian Edwards, I think Brian Edwards has 2 years on his deal, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be a while for a lot of that money end up coming off. A lot of guys are currently on the team with 1 year contracts, so we're going to end up have to sign guys like Eric Harris, Rashawn Evans. If Rashawn Evans has a big year, you got um Zacchaeus, I think he signed like a 1 year deal, if I'm not mistaken. May have been a 2 year deal, but you got him. Um, got a lot of guys on that defensive side too, that could quite possibly see extension. So, like I said, I know it seems like a lot of money that we have this year, but a lot of that money gonna be gone trying to re-sign the guys that we currently have on this staff. And if we don't sign them, we right back at square one trying to develop talent. So, like I said, I wouldn't get too happy about the Falcons possibly going out and signing someone in free agency. I just don't think that's going to be a major issue. And in fact, they've already stated that they won't. It won't be something that they are going to go out and, unless they see somebody that can't miss, and that person perfectly fits their scheme, their attitude. I just don't see it. I just don't see the Falcons going out spending money in free agency next year. I just don't see it. If anything, they're going to re-sign a lot of their guys that fits their scheme. Brian, it was like I think he's gonna be here for the couple of years too. Like I said, got to see what Drake London is gonna be. How good is he gonna be? Has he fully recovered from the knee injury? How bad is that knee injury? Kyle Pitts, him coming into his zone. And that's another thing too. We've seen, Kyler Murray get a contract extension um, when he wasn't even in his last year. So now we've set a precedent in the NFL that even if you're not in your last year of your rookie deal, a team could quite possibly, extend you, come with a deal right now. So you can see the Falcons, in their third second or third year. All right, I really like Kyle Pitts. He went to the Pro Bowl. Let's give him an extension right now. But that contract wouldn't come into effect to at least, the fifth year of that. So, like I said, man, there are options for the Atlanta Falcons to extend even rookies. We're seeing it. We're seeing that. How much you think we're going to have to pay Chris Lindstrom? It's going to be near $20 million. But I think we got to see what happens with the guy in Indianapolis just really went blank. Uh, Quentin Nelson. Got to see what happened to Quentin Nelson, what the type of contract that he gets. So I think the Falcons will wait on there. So I kind of eliminate him as far as this year getting an extension. But if Quentin Nelson gets his contract extension a lot sooner, between the first, 4 to 5 weeks, we can possibly start looking at that negotiation with Chris Lindstrom. So, like I said, it comes down to two guys. It's already been um, the market for the cornerback has already been set for the most part. So you can see the Falcons announce AJ Terrell's contract extension. We can see possibly an extension for Marcus Mariota if they need to make some money. But like I said, that it's a handful of guys at this point in time that the Falcons use to get extra money. I don't see tight ends making 25 million. I just don't see that. The market for quarterbacks is just not that high, and the demand for that position is not that high. I can see wide receivers um being that high, but if Kyle Pitts were to uh, get contract, it would be a contract similar to how Taysom Hill got his contract. Well, he's getting paid for the total snaps at each position. So if he played tight end, he would make X amount of dollars. If he played wide receiver, for those snaps, he would get X amount of dollars. So it depends on those positions, where he lined up most, where he would get X amount of dollars. So I think Kyle Pitts and a lot of players like him will have contracts based on the snaps that they've accrued throughout the season. So I don't think it'll be a $25 million um a contract. I think it'll be an incentive lace deal where he gets X amount if he lines up at running, if he lines up at fullback, tight end, wide receiver. That's how the Falcons are structured. Because if you end up, giving Kyle Pitts a round number, say, all right, 25 million because you the tight end. Well, he's not just a tight end. Kyle Pitts is lined out at wide receiver. He's lined up in the slot. He's lined up as a tight end. And in some cases, he lined up at fullback, the H back. So, like, you would have to, in order to save money, you would have to play him like a weapon versus playing him like a position. And I think that bodes well for the NFL, so they don't have to have the outrageous, um, you know, cap numbers for one particular position because, like most of these guys are playing multiple positions anyway, so they would have to get paid as such. How long before Algier passes Williams? I I don't know, man. I honestly, that's hard. That's hard. I want Algier I want him to be the starter, but I think he's gonna have to grind it out. I think he's gonna give him a little here, a little here, a little there. But I think it really depends on how good and how well Williams is. If Williams comes in, he making mistakes. I think immediately, especially in pass protection, because we know Arthur does not like his running back, he doesn't like his running backs or his players to make a ton of mistakes. So if Williams has, one of those games where he's fumbling the ball, he just go through a bad stretch where he's dropping passes and those type of things, we'll see Algier a lot better, a lot sooner. But if he's on point, Damian Williams is not making mistakes, he's doing everything wrong, we won't see Algier be the starter for quite some time because we already know for the most part, Cordero Patterson is going to be a baller. So I don't see Cordero not being the guy in this offense. He's going to be the guy in his running game, man. He gonna set the chemistry. He's going to set the tone for this offense. So I think the guy to really pay a close attention to how effective is Cordero Patterson. If he is the Cordero Patterson of last year, you won't see a lot of Algier. You won't see a lot of Williams. I think people just look. I think people just excited to see what the young guys do. So, like I said, I don't think he just like all right. He just want guys to pass. I think when you get a young weapon, everybody wants to see what he's about instead of being patient. And it was the same thing about that dumbass question from Jeff Schultz. You up here worried about Desmond Ritter? It's like, look, he's a young guy. We drafted him the third round. We did that for a reason. He needs to sit back and learn the game. And that's the same thing for Algier. He's a young bull. He's a stud. So I think people just want to see what he can do at this point. Now, it's like getting a new Xbox. You know what I'm saying? You want to open that bitch now. You don't want to wait till Christmas. You don't want to wait, the New Year's. You want to open that bitch now. So you can get on and play it now. I don't want to wait next year. I don't want to wait in 2 months. I don't want to wait in 2 weeks. I want to play that shit now. And I think that's the same thing for, the players. We get a new player, let's just see what he can do. Nobody wants to wait for it. Forget this contract out. What are we gonna do against the Saint squads? Um, I think we've already done it. We've done like 5 shows. AFN done the shows. We've done shows. We pretty much went down. We're pretty much giving it our take on it. But if you want to hear it again, at the end of the day, we don't know. Let's just keep it. This is probably the first game in the Saints in quite some time. Saints and Falcons. We don't know what's going to happen. Let's just keep that real. The Saints got a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, a new play caller. The Falcons have a new um, play caller, a new head coach for the most part. He's in his second year, and Dean P's in his second year. There's a lot of question marks on both sides of the team. I know a lot of people so focused on the Falcons. Oh, the Falcons don't have this and they don't have. Well, guess what? The Saints have a new play caller, offensive play caller. It's no longer Sean Payton. All right, they don't have Sean Payton. This is now Dennis Allen's team. Can he make those tough decisions in key situations the same way that Sean Payton has done? Hell no. Sean Payton is a Hall of Fame coach for a reason. So let's not try to pretend like Dennis Allen. Yeah, he's a good defensive coordinator, but he's gonna hold. If he is, will he hold the offense in high regard, or will he say, "All right, this is my defense. Don't mess it up." And then when the offense start messing up, will he get conservative? So these are the things we've yet to see with the Saints. And I know a lot of people are thinking to themselves, like, "Look, bro, no, the Saints are the Saints." Well, they're not the Saints. This is a completely different team, completely different coaching staff. These guys do things differently than him. The running game, what does Drew Dalman bring different than Matt Hennessy? The running game. He's physical, he's quick, he gets to the second level, and he understands in the running game in particular. He just understands how to get to that second level. Matt Hennessy isn't as physical in the running game as a Drew Dalman. Drew Dalman is a light guy, but that only affects him in the passing game versus the running game. I think Drew Dalman is ready to take over as far as that running game is concerned. And the pass protection, he's going to get better. I'm not worried about that. He's in his second year. Uh, Hennessy is in his first year, and like I said, I think they made the right call. I just think Drew Dalman is better in the running game for the Falcons. Falcons have to establish that running game first. What team had a better defense and offense? If we're just being serious at this moment, it's like if you want to say better defense, just based on the numbers and what has been, right now the Saints have been. But they have a ton of questions. No, like you just lost 2 safeties. Don't Cam isn't the same Cam. Let's just keep that real. I know a lot of you Saints fans are just like totally oblivious to the fact that he's not the same guy. He's a year older. Can he still do what he's done for all these years? That's a question. Amada, will he continue to do what he does? Demario Davis, is Marshawn Lattimore still a top corner? Who's going to be that second and third guy for you guys? Um, but like defensively, I'll give the Saints the edge just based on longevity. Offensively, there's a lot of question marks as far as the Saints concerned, the quarterback position. This is not a Sean Payton offense, so we don't know what the offensive coordinator is going to be, how he's going to call, what his confidence level is um in Jameis Winston. We don't know if he's going to use Alvin Kamara in the running game or in the passing game, how he's going to call plays. Does he believe him in certain situations? The offensive line, you lost the offensive lineman for most of the season. There's a lot of question marks on their team, on the offensive line for the Saints. Um, and like I said, at some point in time, there's a lot of questions, but for the Falcons offense, there's a lot of questions. What the offense concern is Marcus Mariota that guy? Can the Falcons get the running game going? Has this offensive line proven themselves? Is the wide receivers good? Is Drake London an injury prone guy? Can Kyle Pitts take it to the next level? There's a lot of question marks there. Is uh can Cordero Patterson have the year that he had last year, about 1,200, 1,300 all-purpose yards? So that's going to be a lot of questions for marks as far as both teams concerned. But if I were to give the heads up as far as defense concerned, the defense for the Saints, the offense for the Saints, but I think the biggest issue, the biggest upside for the Atlanta Falcons, I just personally think the Falcons coaching staff is much better than the Saints. But like I said, that's all based on last year, and this is a new year, and both teams have opportunity to show, you know, where they are at this moment in time. We can keep talking about the past and what happened in 2009 and 2016 all we want to. This is a new year. Falcons won a game last year. The Saints won a game last year. We could split. It could quite possibly be the same thing. Oh, yeah. And we sit up here arguing for no reason about the same shit we do every year in the split. So what's the point? Who's better? It's all played on this. It's all plays. It's all done on the field. But like I said, like Tony, I just don't believe the Saints offense is going to be as good without Sean Payton. I'm not believing that. I think you are delusional if you think the Saints offense is going to be the same offense without Sean Payton. You have lost your damn mind. Just gonna be honest. Still gonna be good. Davenport, man, look, bro, that's one guy. Okay, one guy. You still got problems with in the linebacker. You got problems in the secondary. Okay, you can't blitz every play. I know you're a Saints fan, but you can't blitz every play, my G. Hey, you cannot blitz every. This is not Matt Ryan led offense. You blitz every play. Guess what? You got a guy in Mariota who can run. These are the things we talking about. This is not the same Falcons offense. Y'all keep thinking about the what happened last year. Is Davenport going to be able to keep up with a guy like Marcus Mariota? Let's say he does beat the offensive lineman, the tackle. Can he sack a Mariota? This is a mobile quarterback now. There are things you can't do with a mobile quarterback. You can't send the house on a quarterback because if you end up sending the house on them and you miss the tackle, guess what? Mariota go for 30, 40 years, 30, 40 yards for a touchdown now. Matt Ryan couldn't do that. You can be more aggressive with a Matt Ryan because you know Matt Ryan is not gonna run. I mean, y'all should know that. Y'all got a quarterback like that. You blitz the Saints and you miss Taysom Hill, guess what? Taysom can go for 30, 40 yards. Now we have that option. This is not the same Falcons team, my G. Bruh, this is the reason why I don't like talking to Saints. Oh, we got new weapons, bro. Bruh, you don't have an offensive line. Your offensive line. Do you know who your left tackle is gonna be? Just answer that question. Who the left tackle is going to be? If your offensive line is going to be good, are you going to continuously run the ball? This man said Sean Payton, on God, he wasn't the offense. Okay, we gonna end this. I ain't got time for y'all retards, bro. I'm not dealing with y'all stupid idiots. This man said Sean Payton wasn't the offense coordinator. Man, shut up. You don't even know your own team. Bro, you on that crack, bro. Whatever y'all got in that swamp water down there, y'all on some dizzle. This man said Sean Payton was not the offensive coordinator. Bro, what is wrong? What is like how why would you even say that? This man said Sean Payton was the offensive coordinator. Huh? That whole offense is Sean Payton. What the fuck are you talking about? Saints, are y'all like are y'all like born with the letter R on your forehead? I'm not even talking about y'all weapons. Are you confident that you're going to be able to protect the quarterback for one? This man, like, how would you say with a straight face that Sean Payton isn't the offensive coordinator? He the play caller. It don't matter who the hell is the offensive coordinator. He calling the plays. He's running that entire offense. What's wrong with you, dog? Do you even know your own team? No, we're not gonna disrespect. Okay, we're not gonna disrespect Sean Payton and saying he's overrated without Drew Brees. All right, Drew Brees is a Hall of Fame quarterback, but don't just disrespect Sean Payton like he's just a sucker. He was doing it without Sean. He was doing it without Drew Brees. That's how he got the job to begin with because he was a good play caller. So some of you son of a bitches from New Orleans, you need to do your history and your homework. He was endorsed by one of the greatest coaches of all time, and that's Bill Parcells. So you need to do your homework. It's deeper than just New Orleans. Do your facts, do your stats. All right, get it right. Y'all got me up here defending Sean Payton because you so fucking retarded. I'm done. I appreciate it. I apologize, but some of you Saints fans are just retarded. You just disrespecting your own coach, the greatest coach in y'all franchise history, because you got a new guy. Man, come on, stop, bro. I'm done with this, you guys. All right, you guys check us out tonight, Atlanta Falcon Nation. Um, TJ, TJ Jones, the Status the Saints podcast. He's going to join us tonight. Atlanta Falcon Nation. I will not personally be on there. I'll be in the back producing. So you guys, like I said, you guys check out them tonight. TJ Jones going to give his thoughts on the game, but I'm done with it. I don't do retarded. I'm sorry. I don't do stupid. I'm up here, damn. Y'all got me up here defending the damn Sean Payton like I'm a damn Saints fan because you don't even know your own team, bro. They been reading eating that rat stew, bro. What were we talking about? This man said Sean Payton went off. Oh God, bro. I just do it, man. Pete Carmichael ain't proved shit. What has he ever done? It's okay. It's okay, Drew Brees. Sean didn't mean that. What? Like that's what he does? Showing Drew Brees picture steals. Yeah, it's different from actually playing the game, calling the game the proper way, and making those in-game adjustments. Sean Payne's been doing that for the last 14, 15 years. Pete Carmichael hasn't. What are we talking about? Bro, do you even know your own team? Like I said, I appreciate it. I'm, bro, I'm, I'm done. I'm done. Thank you guys. I love you guys for all you've done. You continue to support us relentlessly. But like I said, man, they do. I don't know. They eating rat stew. I don't know if they eating cat stew. I don't know if they just can't spell. They ain't getting the education. They can't read. I don't know. But some off down there. This man up here throwing shots at Sean Payton. I just can't even do it, people. I can't. You're not gonna disrespect good coaches. I don't give a damn who you are. This just ignorant. This just ignorant. Thank you guys. I love you guys. But man, Mike is out of here, man. Good gracious of life.